Welcome to HVAC Startup Technicians, and today me and David is here again. Hey, say good afternoon, David. Well, by now everybody should know you, but introduce yourself and tell them about this book we have on the screen and what's going on with it today.
Well, thanks to everybody again, all the people who are joining live from the Caribbean, all the friends, all the fans, all the supporters. My name is David Fleming. I come from the small Caribbean island of Grenada. Um, and my friend, me and Ani here, we have been friends for almost 30 years, and we decided to give back to our communities, share some experiences that we have had over the years and what has brought us to this point of success. And Ernie have started on the journey of preparing books and writing books with some of the knowledge that we have gained over time. And one of the books he has is Your Guide to Financial Freedom: How to Stop Living from Paycheck to Paycheck. And it ties very nicely into the topic which we're going to be starting today. Keep more money in your pocket. It is your money, your freedom, your success. And in the area where we're talking about your freedom, the book is what we would be giving away in that segment within there as we take live with Ani. So, Ani, I would pass it back to you to do your introductions and tell me when we can get started. We're all
well,
ready to go.
well, David, as you know, we don't waste no time over here. We're gonna get right into talking about how you could have a better life.
Mhm.
Last week, for the people that wasn't here with us last week, we talked about building your dream, and I think that
Right.
comes real nice into building your dream because without that money and without you keeping money in your pocket, it's almost impossible to build a dream. So I definitely want to start there. I'm gonna start today, David, and what I'm gonna say is I like to talk a lot about the emotional part of it, David. And
Right.
what sometimes kind of get to me and it kind of breaks my heart a little bit is that once I go to the Walmart and those other places and I see these elderly people
Right.
sitting doing greetings, and they're gonna be doing the greeting, it kind of break my heart, David. I must say, it break my
Yeah.
heart a little bit to see, and I ask myself, what had they done with their life? Why these people has to be greeting people now at Walmart,
Right.
and what they could have done differently. And our goal in this program is to make sure that we set you up so these things that happen don't happen later in your life, that you put your financial house in order. So today we want to teach people and give them all the knowledge that they would have to put
Right.
the financial house in order. Um,
Mhm.
we was just doing this book, David, and we and you had a little conversation when I get on, and we were
Right.
saying that I didn't want people to think that you had to have thousands of dollars to build
Oh,
your
no.
dream.
Nah, nah,
Because
nah.
I wanted for people to understand that you have to able to manage the little bit of money you have right now. You
Oh,
know,
yes.
we talk
Yes, yes, yes.
because last week we talked about God, and what came to mind is that you remember the story about the man with all the talents, and if we cannot
Ah,
manage, if we cannot manage the little what we have, we cannot manage $100. How are we gonna ask the
yes.
Lord for $1 million?
Yes, how
We
you gonna
cannot.
manage that?
Yeah.
It might be total chaos.
Total chaos. So, David, I don't want to take too much time. I just wanted to kind of give a little bit insight into what we're going to talk about today,
Mhm.
and I would definitely let you take it away and give your input.
Right.
One more thing before we start.
Mhm.
We are streaming on Facebook also, so the people on Facebook, we just want to say welcome to the people on Facebook. The people on YouTube, we want to say welcome. I think
Yep.
we're streaming a lot of Facebook. Another thing that if you guys are listening to us on Facebook, you may have to go Facebook / StreamYard. We're not sure if we could see a comment, but we thank you for coming on, and I will let David just start the program. All right, take it away, David.
Okay. I just want to interject, and I hope that the wrong sentiment has not been sent here. In regards to like some of the people who work at Walmart. It may be that some of them is just using that as a means to give back to the community, as well as it might be just their form of keeping themselves active. So we're not judging. We just hope that that is a perspective and that is not, it's an absolute need that they must do it, and that's their only source of income. But with all that being said, I always like to start very simple and start from where I come from. And one of the things I just want to give you a little insight in, you know, we are all tempted to blow money. It feels good in the moment, but it's just short lived, right? And after spending is over and reality sets in, and the regret begins to build over. I would share with you just a little personal thing. I remember when I was between the age of maybe 10, 12, somewhere around there. And within the culture of Grenada, what used to happen, and Ani maybe could attest to it, like your parents would give you like a small amount of money, right? And at Christmas time, we would go into town on Christmas Eve. I believe it might be, maybe Good Friday it was, and they would give you this money and you would go and you would shop and you would buy your different toys and so on, right? And you would come home in the afternoon and so on, and you will be all excited. You go, you buy your grapes, you buy your apples, all that kind of stuff, and you come home, right? And it's like you're looking at what you have amassed, what you have purchased. And one of the things that resonated the most with me and I could remember, and I believe to a certain point, it has started to make me at that point think about, am I making good decisions? And let me give you the example that I'm talking about. My sister and I, Patty, hello, I know you're watching right now. Don't be embarrassed. It's the past, and we have grown from it. My sister Patty and I, we used to go to the Christmas and shop, right? And mommy and so on, maybe they might give us a 50, $60, right? And we would go in town, boy, and we spend everything. That started the first couple of years. So we spent everything we had and we bring home. And when we come home at the night, for a couple of years, maybe about 2 to 3 years, we started to say, huh, when we start looking at the things we brought home after we had already spent all our money, it's like, you know, uh, I don't like this stupid thing, why I buy this? Um, why I didn't keep my money for that? You start becoming a little bit disgruntled because you have spent all your money, and after you look at what you have done with your money, you're not happy with some of the choices you have made. So after the first maybe 2, 3 times we start complaining, my mom used to come and tease us. She used to listen to us and laugh, right? And then maybe about a year or two after, what started to happen is we decided to become a little bit more thrifty. So what we're deciding now is to keep back some of our money and only spend on what we absolutely really want. So I remember like we used to have like toy guns, we used to have satellites, we would have, those old toy guns that they used to put them little packs bullet inside, you know, we buy some fruits and so on. But we started to come back home with some of our money because we decided we're not spending all because we're not happy with everything, and we're going to put it inside the cash pan. So what we have started to do now is save some of the money and spend some of it. And that in itself brought happiness because we got the both of two worlds where we still had some funds afterwards where we could do whatever we want after the Christmas has gone. So I say this and I give you this general example is to bring to point the point that we have, keep your money in your pocket. It is your money, it is your freedom, and it is your success. And I say this to say the first thing you need to know is you need to determine what is a need and what is a want. That is very important. That determines how much you absolutely need to spend and how much is just your intuition or your feeling to go on an additional spree. And the need, spending on the need It's perfectly fine. That is what you need in order to go through your day to day to be comfortable. The want is the fluff. And that is where you need a bit of control. And that is where you direct that want constructively. One of the things I want to say is, do you know where your money is going? If you don't, let's think of it this way. As a parent, do you allow your child to leave the house with no idea where they are going? And I think no parent in their right mind would say, yes, they're comfortable letting their young child leave the house having no idea where they're going. So I want you to start thinking of your money as your young child. It is not mature. You don't have a set of wealth. You're just beginning to use your money. So think of your money almost like your young child who needs to be guided. So you need to guide your money smartly and look out for its best interests, and it will look out for you when you're older. So don't look at your money as just this inanimate object that you spend to perform a transaction, but care for your money almost just like how you would care for your child. You would want the best for your money, you would want the best for your child. Think of it that way. Um, a lot of people may not look at their money as this, but another question I need to pose to people for them to really soak in and think. Do you know that you are a bank that can give loans to your own self with interest? Some people might ask, are you crazy? What are you talking about? Think of it this way. When you work somewhere, you take your money, you deposit into the bank, right? The bank collects all these small amounts of money that everybody gives. And then now they lend out lump sums, right? That is what a bank do in terms of loan. So the question is, with the live that we did yesterday, not yesterday, last week, it feels like yesterday to me, right, Larry? You know, when you start accumulating small amounts, you could think of your savings account where you have those small lump sums. And people who are not familiar with what happened last week, they could go back and watch the videos. We'll make it, it is available to you, and we could provide the links to you. After you have started to accumulate those small amounts in the account and it has begun to grow, let's say, for instance, you want to do something, you could look at it as, okay, I am going, think of it like you're going to a bank to get a loan. So you're coming to your own self to get a loan. So for example, let's say I have an account and maybe I have $1,000 in it. And I really need to do something. And remember the thing, need, not want, right? I really need to do it. You could go to yourself in that account and say, okay, I need $500. Okay, I am going to borrow or get a loan for myself for $500, and I'm going to pay back $100 interest, right? So instead of putting your regular deposit, maybe you put aside $100 a month, you say, you know what, I'm going to put $150 after I take out the $100. So you know in about 10 months' time, you are going to put back that additional $500 that you borrow. And you're not going to do it for 10 months, you're going to do it for 12 months so that you would put an additional $100 inside there. So, what you have done is you borrowed from yourself $500 that you paid in 10 months, and you did a two additional months payment, and that gives you the extra $100. So, you have actually given yourself a loan and you have paid back an interest of $100 back to your own self. Larry, does that make any sense to you?
A lot of sense, David. Keep going.
That is how we're keeping your money in your pocket. You're borrowing from yourself, you're paying yourself interest, and the money and the interest is going back to your own self instead of borrowing a $500 from my institution. That is how you keep money in your pocket. And that is just a very simple example, right? So the next thing is about think. think of your savings, right? And Larry, you could chime in at any time. Think of your savings as a shopping spree. And nobody, I don't think there's anybody who don't like to shop to a certain extent or spend a little sometimes, right? So think of your savings as a shopping spree that you would have no regret later. Because remember, when you put money into your savings, you have nothing to regret because you always have access to that money. But if you spend it at a consumer store or whatever it is out of your control. You have lost control of your money, you have spent it, you have given it away for in trade for some kind of goods. But if you invest in yourself and you think of savings as one of the things that you would buy. So just let's say, for instance, Larry, you like to let me see. Well, I know Larry don't like to spend much. He's not a big spender, and I am guilty as well. But let's say you like collecting cards. Let's just say, sometimes Pokemon cards or whatever it is. And you think of your savings just as one of those transactions. So maybe it's not buying cards, but maybe you like to buy beers, you like to buy wine, that kind of stuff. So think of your savings as one of these things as well. So the money that you might have buy wine with, you're thinking of your savings as one of that spending transaction. So if you budget to save 50 or whatever it is on wine, on Pokemon cards, on your savings, you're spending it by depositing it in your account. That is the technique I'm talking about here, Larry. So let, let's do this. Let's start with making ourselves a shopping spree list, right? That we're striving to meet. So let me just think about it this way. Um, as myself and Larry said last week, when you're dreaming, dream big, right? So let me just give a big dream. So let's say for me,
David, let me chime in here for a little
go
bit.
tell me.
Not to cut you. I don't want you to
No,
go
no, no.
too
Go.
far because you made
Mhm,
a very important point when you talk about the institution
mhm.
and giving money to yourself. And I remember we having that conversation. I
Yep.
just want to add a little bit about it. It's about
Mhm.
knowing what priorities are. You know,
Yes.
do you really need that phone for eight, nine, $1,000 to give Samsung, which is $1 billion company? Do you really need to give them your last $800? Or could you say, you know what, man? I just need to call from point A to point B. I need to
Yes.
text. So we're gonna have this money here. I could buy a phone for $200. I would get one that I could
Mhm.
like when I could afford it. But right now,
Yes.
based on my financial situation, I could look at my credit card statement is a little bit high, so my
Mhm.
credit is all effed up. Excuse my language. So would it be better if I pay some money here on this credit card,
Mhm.
and manage a little bit of food here instead of taking that whole $800 or $900 and put it on a phone. So that's where I
Yes.
want you to think. Um,
Mhm.
and while you was talking, David, I was talking
Yeah.
about last week. You say, "Oh, tell them about the car," and we never really got into that
No,
conversation
no, no, it's a car conversation. Take it
because
away, Larry.
because you know what? Listen, I look at all of those nice, I like the Tundra, man. Those are some nice truck, right? The
Oh yeah.
nice leather,
Ooh, yeah.
sunroof, man, and all
Oh
that stuff.
man,
Could,
you're
could, could
talking
I get
about it.
one of that? Could I get one of that?
Yes.
Yeah, it would be nice to get one of that. But
Mhm.
as you says, reality gonna set in after
Mhm.
2, 3 months because I could tell you what's gonna happen. When I come home with that car, I'm gonna look outside and I'm gonna say, "Woo, nice black boy, nice
Ooh,
leather. Check it
looking
out,
good.
man."
Oh, the bling.
Hey, after 2, 3 months of making the payment,
Yes.
as you say,
Your face start to get
reality,
sour. Mhm.
reality setting. David, you ever realize that people with nice cars they have so much road rage?
I wonder if is a side effect of it. You
it could be.
realizing
It
it's
could, it,
like
it, it could be the
you're
blend.
mad with the wall now. Yes, yes, yes.
So,
Go
so,
ahead, go ahead.
so let me tell you, is it wonderful? Instead of because if it's let me say your credit is not the best, okay?
Yes,
So let me draw a conclusion. Let me say you have fair credit. Let me say you have
right,
650 credit somewhere around there, right? Not
right.
great. It's not bad. It's not great. You go
Maybe you
to
might want to explain what credit is for people because in the North America we know what credit is, but it might be
right,
savings for other people back home.
right. Well,
Mhm.
credit is. your ability, it's really your ability to pay back a loan and
Right.
your payment history. One of the major things in credit is your payment history. So if you have a great payment history,
Mhm.
like you're using 10% of your credit cards and stuff like that, you're
Right.
gonna get a more favorable interest rate, right?
Right.
So it is your ability to handle debt. Okay.
Hmm.
So most of the times, the people in North America here, if we're going for a car loan, right? And it doesn't have to be North America because anywhere you're going to the bank has to make money. The bank
Yes.
is in the business of making money. So they go charge
Mhm.
you an interest. So let me say the
Right.
bank say, listen, okay, I doesn't care where you are, if you're in the Caribbean or home, it doesn't matter. I hear it doesn't matter. Um, you go to the bank and you want to buy a car, and they say, okay, this car costs 40,000 with
Right.
or, whatever it is with 8 or 10% interest, right?
Right. Hmm.
What about instead of you going there with no money down because
Hmm.
the interest gonna be high because you're not gonna make a
Oh,
difference.
yes.
You're gonna pay the bank. Let me choose a flat figure. You're paying the bank $500 a month
Hmm.
for 5 years
Yeah.
with a 8% interest.
Oh boy.
Okay, let me tell you this. Would it be really nice if you act like you have that loan right now, save
Hmm.
that $500 every month, put it in the bank, and you go to the bank with cash to the car, and you're the
Yes.
boss. You're
You're
the
the
boss.
man because now you have given yourself the loan to
Mhm.
get the car. And you are at the advantage there, whereby they're not squeezing you on the interest. But because of your thriftiness, you were able now to slice their piece of the pie and keep it to yourself now,
Right.
instead of giving them all the pie.
You're giving them the interest.
Yes.
So you're a guy that have a couple $100, you're struggling, and you're giving your
Mhm.
money to billionaires.
Yes.
That's that's
Do it
exactly
the
what you're
other
doing.
way.
That's
Turn
exactly what
yourself
you're doing.
into, let yourself be partially alone,
Mhm.
partially a loan of a bank. So
Yeah.
that is the technique we were talking about, and you use that to your advantage later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the whole purpose.
So David, is about making choices. I
Mm.
sometimes I go outside. I may go to the mall. I go to, and I says, I see a guy, walking around, man, nice gold chain, right? He might be, he might be have about $2,000 on his neck.
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
might have a nice shoes. Shoes might cost about $300. Nice, those Gucci belt, right? I don't know who.
Nothing wrong with it, eh? Nothing
not
wrong with it,
not not
but
nothing wrong with it, Larry. But
mhm,
you have to reach in a position where you could afford it,
yes,
but your finances cannot be suffering in order to do that. Like I heard this quote that says, I think it was Will Smith that says that. I know Will Smith is not the biggest fan of lately, but
yeah, poor
yeah,
fella, but
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
what he says, we spend money we don't have to impress people we don't know.
No, precisely, and that is a true, true saying.
you
True,
know,
true saying, my brother.
so I said before, if you could afford it, by all means. But if you're
Great.
struggling financially, make the right decisions. Make the right decision with your money, manage your money properly, and that's all which we're trying to show people. um
Yes,
I am like, I like a lot of business people, so I pay attention to people like one of my favorite guys, Warren Buffett, Steve Jobs, and all these guys. And when you look at these guys, David, what I've noticed, they're never flashy.
no, no.
They got
And Larry, I wonder if that's where we start. We maybe have subconsciously figured that out, because if you realize we not flashy either, eh?
hmm
Larry, look at the t-shirt you have on and you making a broadcast. And look at the t-shirt I have on and I making a broadcast.
hmm hmm
We still not flashy. It's not about showing what you have. You know what I mean? You do what you have to do. I'm not saying you can't spend a little on yourself and enjoy, but you don't go over the ropes. You
it, but
don't be
it
too
has to be within
excessive.
reason. It has to be within reason.
Yes,
Could I afford
yes,
this right now? For
yes.
me, I don't know about everybody, but for me, man, I look for the cheap stuff until I could afford,
The
afford it.
better stuff.
I don't, to me, and that's just me, right? So I have
Mm.
a car outside here, and
Yes, tell me about that car.
you
Now
know.
tell me about that car.
So I remember going to work, and a guy says, "Hey, Ernie, that your car there?" I said, "Yeah, man." He said, "A guy like you, I thought you would have been driving a Tesla." I said, "Tesla for what?" So listen, my payment is zero. My payment is zero on my old car. I'm driving a 1999 Mazda,
Yes.
and
Hmm.
David, and then I could save money.
Yes.
And nothing wrong
Larry,
with if you could afford it. Mhm.
hmm hmm hmm
But
Larry,
you,
you have a very good point, and an idea I always kind of strive with is, I believe sometimes when I'm buying something, I buy something good, right?
mhm.
But what I do before I buy, I save up in preparation for that purchase. So that when I know I'm buying something that might cost me a bit, I make sure that I have already saved up in preparation for it. So I've budgeted for it. So you have to be thrifty on that one. But not to cut
Okay.
you, Larry, let me let you go. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so what you want to make sure you have, there's two sets of assets. So, and I don't want people to think that they have to be cheap and don't take care of themselves. I really
No,
don't want it.
that's not what
But
we mean. No,
there
no,
is appreciation asset and depreciating asset. Now
no.
you want to go buy a house and you get a good deal on the house, and then the house is worth more than what you buy. That's
Right.
appreciated assets.
Yes.
So we touch a little bit about debt, you know,
Hmm.
and I just want to talk a little bit about that. I don't want to stray too far, but I believe in good debt and bad debt. If you
It's
if you're
true.
in, if you go into a debt where you could accumulate something and make something back,
Yes.
David, that rich people and poor people, there's a saying that rich people and poor people have two different thinking.
Yep. I know what you're coming with, but go ahead, my brother.
You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? A
Yep.
poor person say I can't afford it. A rich person say
Hmm.
show me how I could afford it. Now, what I've
Yes.
learned from my business and for the time I've been here and for the business that I've started, I realized that there's, as I said before, good debt and bad debt. As a
Hmm.
poor person, David, it's really difficult for you to save money to buy a house or buy something. You have to use debt to accumulate something.
Yes.
So I doesn't want
Hmm.
people to think that that okay, we running down debt. But if you
No.
could, if
No.
you could, if you could, because you have to go in debt to maybe to own a house.
Yes.
If you're
You
gonna
you
do,
usually have to. You
yeah,
have to.
and
Nobody
so
has nothing cash.
what I'm saying? If you're gonna do a business, instead of just buying a car to flash around, if you're gonna do a business and you go buy, maybe you're buying a transport that could kind of make back some money for you or stuff that you could
Yes.
see that
Hmm.
put in more money. That is a good debt.
Yes.
Now if you're just going and buy clothes just to flashy and party, that I
Yes.
consider that a bad debt. And I make no apologies for that,
Apology.
David. You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree.
Know what your priorities are. Start a business. And there is so much things right now. This is the year 2022, David.
22.
As we
Oh
know,
yeah.
me and you, even if, and that's why me and David are very good friends. Even if David, I'm involved in the stock market and David is not, but his common
Mhm.
sense about money and money management is tremendous. So, David, I'm going to let you take
Thanks.
it away. I
Thanks.
don't want to struggle too much and go too much into the financial aspect. I want to
Mhm.
stick on money. And just before I hand you over, David,
Mhm.
what I would tell people is that most people are working um, in a regular job where they really don't have that money, but at least try
Right.
to save a certain percentage, even though it's 10% of your money.
Yeah.
Try to
Small as it
save
may
it so you
be.
have something for a rainy day.
Yeah.
So you could kind of set up an emergency fund. So in case your mom's sick,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't have to leave her there where, oh gosh, I don't know where I'm getting some money. Oh, my mom is this, I can't help. In case your wife's sick, your children's sick, try to set up an emergency fund so you have something for the rainy day because you never know what's gonna happen. So David, I will let you I don't want to take too much time. I will let you come in and we will
No.
continue with this again. Go ahead.
So let's continue a little bit and let's just take a little different spin on the money. I've kind of
Mhm.
showed you, where I came from, what I realize is a good spend versus a bad spend, what is need versus what it want, um, caring for your money, almost like that's your little baby there, so that it would look out for you later on in life. But the reality of it is whenever you start accumulating some money, and that's what we talked about last week, you have that itch to scratch that you need to spend a little. That comes, and it is almost like a craving. So let me kind of give some people a little advice on or an idea that has happened to me and how I kind of handle that craving. So, how do we deal with the craving to spend money? And I would tell you, try this. This is what I have done actually for myself. Try this once and it will resonate with you forever. Some people may not have as much as $300, but if you have $100, I am telling you, it is money well spent if you watch what happens with it. Let me show you something. Take $100, or if you could afford 300, take $300 or 250, whatever, in small denominations, the smallest denominations of paper money. You don't want coins. Um, and choose a friend. And it shouldn't be a best friend. So that's why Oni may never knew about this, because Oni would have been my best friend and he would have been the person I would have given that money to. You and this person, right? You're going to go on a shopping spree, but you are going to hand them the small amount of bills when you leave to go shopping. So if it's $100 and maybe the smallest denomination, what is the smallest denomination we have in Grenada, Larry? I believe paper money. I believe it's $5, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right. In North America, we do have dollar. I think the US dollar, and I believe it's $5 here as well. So for the experiment, let's say for Caribbean, let's say it's $5. So let's say you have $200 and you're going on this shopping spree. You decide, okay, you're going and shop, and you're handing them the money before you leave the house, because you want to give it some time to soak in that you have just handed somebody your 100, 200, or $300 to hold, and they are going and make the purchases that you want, right?
Hmm.
So they would spend the money, and you are going to watch as they give it away to the cashier at the store. So you have your list, you tell them what you want, and you are just following behind. You're not saying anything, but you're observing that they're taking things off the shelf, and you're observing as they pass it through the cashier, and you're watching carefully and meticulously because they are paying with the money that you have given them. And the trick is, you will just be a passive observer, watching as the money slowly leaves your grip. And what you will realize is, because you have taken yourself backwards and you're watching from the outside, what it is that's happening with your money. When you actually doing the purchasing, you're comfortable with yourself. So you're not thinking about the money that you're spending, because you're spending your own money. You are in charge of it, right? You're your own boss. But when somebody else is handling your money, you are mindful of whether or not they're choosing the smartest item off the shelf. Are they making good choices? Why didn't they choose the cheaper one versus that expensive one they are about? And you would start realizing that you care for your money. It is like a child. You don't want somebody advantaging your money, because you have handed them your money to care for, just like how you would bring your child to the daycare. And one thing I've realized is that it has made me become a little bit more caring about what you do with your money. You don't just give it away, because you realize now that what the money means to you. I'm not saying you have to be a greedy person. I'm not saying you have to be a selfish hoarding person, but you would start to realize that you need to be a little bit more caring and concerned, because when you are not doing it for yourself, you start thinking a little bit beyond just the transaction, but you're trying to see if it is the most smart choice you're making. And for the people who may not have $100 or $200 cash, because I know it has some people that can't afford to do that experiment for themselves. But everybody had the internet, right, Larry?
Right.
And maybe Amazon and them may hate me for this broadcast. But let me try it this way. What you could do is create an account on Amazon, right? And go virtual shopping. And let me explain what virtual shopping is. The same way like the person would actually go and pick something up off the shelf. You go, you have your shopping cart, and you are going at different items and choosing it and put it in your cart, right? On Amazon. It's the same act of a physical shopping. You're just not leaving your house, and it is not taking money out of your pocket, because you're not going to ring up the till and check out that off your credit card in the end.
Hmm.
But what you're going to do is, when you put those things in your cart, you could have the person that you say is your friend do it, and you could just stand there and watch. And what you can do is let the person at the end of the shopping tell you, um, yes, give me your credit card now so I could process this transaction. And if you pause to give your credit card, that means you are concerned about some of the choices that you have made in terms of the things you're about to purchase. It is not need. Because if everything you have purchased was a need, you wouldn't second pause and say, I don't think I'm giving you my credit card to buy these things. Now, let's
David,
take it a little bit further.
let, let
Go
me let me
ahead,
ch- let
Larry.
me let me just chime in here
Tell me.
just before
Mhm,
people get lost. We'll see. I have a link here that says StreamYard/Facebook. So that's the people on Facebook. Yeah, we
uh-huh,
might not be able to see their comments. So we, if they go to that and allow that notification, we will be able to see your comments. All right.
perfect.
David, I just wanted to
Hmm.
add to what you just said, which makes a lot of sense, David. But what I want
Hmm.
to add, in if you go to the store and instead of using that credit card, use cash. I think cash has a more
Cash
emotional
is
effect.
king.
No, David. So
Yep,
think about if
that
you go there
cash,
and you had to pull out $200-300 from your pocket.
that that is a real example for you to feel
To
what it
feel
is
how
you're
bad it
doing.
is.
Oh, yes. Then you
Yeah,
would
yeah.
realize the mistake you have been making.
Right,
But
just using that cold cash, but with that swiping of that card, you don't really pay a lot of attention to it. So try to deal with cash, and then you would realize, whoa. But David, I don't want to sidetrack you on a roll, so go ahead. I just wanted to chime in
no
with about that.
problem.
Mhm.
And with the virtual cart, the same concept could be observed. But what to do is go back after a 24 or 48 hours. After you have denied that person with the shopping cart, go back and look at that shopping cart after 24 hours and see if you feel the same way about the items that you put in the cart there. Just reflect on it. Doing this experiment, I am sure you are going to resonate with you what I speak about need versus want. And if there are some things in that cart that you would take out before you process a transaction, that means those items that you remove from the cart was not needs, those were wants. So that's a way to kind of look at yourself and be critical of your own self. You have to be your greatest critic. You have to be real with yourself. If you are a person who likes to spend unnecessarily and not on meaningful stuff, you have to know yourself. You have to know what are your challenges. You have to know what your limits. And you need to come up with some tips and tricks. And what we are giving you here is some little coping strategies that would help you to identify when you are crossing that line above a need and you're heading more to a want and you are not taking charge of your money. Remember, it's your money. We can only tell you what works for us. We could tell you how we have managed and what we have seen with different things. But the main takeaway we want to say here, it is your money. It is your baby. Think of it as your child. The best thing every parent wants is the best for their children. Nobody wants bad for their children. So if you see your money as your child, you would want the best for your child and you want that to bring back some reward for you in the future. That is what I had in mind for money, your perspective of how to keep that into your pocket, take ownership of your money. And I'm not saying love money more than life. No. I'm just saying be careful with it, treat it as a young infant and look out for your money and make smart choices for your money. Is there anything you want to talk about money additionally that you think we may
Well,
have missed for the people?
no, David. We have a very diverse topic today where we talk about
Mhm,
money and success, and I think
mhm.
you hit it. You hit it out of the ballpark with some of those stuff. So I don't need to kind of go back there.
Thank
What I
you.
want to talk to
Mhm,
David is that
mhm.
old guy. I think he passed away now. One of my best friend. His name was
Right.
Gordon, and
Okay.
he said Ernie. money don't make the world go wrong. It makes it go wrong a lot smoother.
Smoother. Yes, it oils the wheel. It puts a little
Yeah,
grease in the wheel.
no.
Yep.
So I think David gave you a lot of meat to chew on when you talk about
Yes.
money.
Hmm.
I'm gonna take a different approach. I'm gonna talk a little bit about success, and after you're able to manage money and you could save at least 20% of your salary, what do you do now? What's the next step, David? Because
Okay.
once people get that and they have a budget and they analyze a lot of this stuff, one of the books I have also talk about setting up a budget. So, and then I like to talk about investment a little bit, and which is very scary for a lot of people because
Hmm.
people are so scared to to lose money. So what I'm gonna say, once you do that and you could budget your money, think about educating yourself into some form of business. Learn as
Hmm.
much as you can. Think about what would you like to do with your future, because as we said, not to go too far, but I always like to look at the end goal where I want to go with this conversation. And what I've learned is that retirement is not enough. You just working for some place. I don't know if it's and hoping that even though you're in Grenada, you're in America, hoping
Hmm.
Social Security or NIS, they're not going to get you
Yeah.
through. I'm sorry, they're not going to get you through. So for
Nope.
you to have a meaningful life and live your when you get older with some dignity, you have to have some form of investment where you can secure your future. Okay.
Larry,
Mhm.
we know people are anxious about their money. We don't want to get people panic. You know what?
Mhm.
We're going to leave the nice piece for the closing, the success.
Mhm.
Let we give them, let we traumatize them a little inside here. Hopefully, not too much
Right.
with the freedom, right?
Mhm.
And I just want to introduce this. This part is where my partner Ernie has shown me and has illuminated to me this pathway. And let's just stop for a while. Um, let's just stop for a while. What does financial freedom? What does freedom, your freedom, looks like to you? And let me just pause for like 10 seconds and really think about it. What does financial freedom look like for you? I'm going to pause silently for 5 seconds. I didn't want to make sure the finger is not up. So, this is what I see in my picture for financial freedom. I see myself doing the profession that I love, which is software development. That's my profession. But having the option to work partially, remotely, and being able to do that while traveling and still being able to pay the bills with a little extra money in my pocket. This is what financial freedom means to me. To everybody, it might be a little bit different. Ani, have you ever thought about it? What does financial freedom mean to you? You can tell them from your perspective.
Okay, David, financial freedom for me is real simple. I feel like I don't have to have a lot of money. I don't have to be a billionaire or millionaire. For me, financial freedom is the ability to choose if my daughter's sick or my wife's sick, my mom's sick, and she has to do some operation. I'm able to take care of that. Financial
Right.
freedom for me, because I grew up very poor, is being able to go to the grocery store, buy whatever I want, and don't have to ask anybody. Financial
Mm,
freedom for me is when I turn 70 years old, David, that I have
mm,
something to fall back on, that I don't have to ask anybody for anything. Financial freedom for me is that I could send my kids to school. My daughter might want to go to college. She want to go to a university, and I could help her get to that space. Financial freedom for me is that my son want to start a business. My son want to do something, and I'm about to give him some financial advice, not only just in money and say, hey man, yeah, this is what you could do. But I don't have to give you much because I want my kids to kind of make their own way. Because say, okay, here is a $5,000. Go start a business. To me, financial freedom is able to take care of my mom. That
right.
to me that means a lot. In case my mom's sick and she had to go to an operation, she don't have to stay in Grenada and depend of the healthcare system in Grenada, because
Yeah,
we
yeah,
know
yeah.
we know how that is. That I could take her here and take care of her. My dad, my whole family. We could all come together and say, you know what? we're gonna make it through. That is
Right.
financial freedom. To me, it is not about acquiring wealth, it's a bit about being able to take care of myself, take care of my family, take care of my retirement. To me, that's what financial freedom is.
Perfect, honey. We thinking along the same lines. So
Mhm,
let's ask this question. How do I get there? Should I just quit my job because I
mhm,
have this yearning to be financially free?
mhm.
No, you have to begin to put things in place to make this a reality. And what are some of those things that you can do to get to that place? And I know myself and Ani, sometimes we talk about stocks, we talk about second job, start a little small side business, or maybe people who may not be able to do all of that, but maybe just starting something simple, like a small kitchen garden that could take care of take your vegetables out of your shopping list, right? When you're going to town to shop. You're not to buy vegetables anymore. Rare maybe a couple of chickens in the backyard. So maybe you don't have to buy poultry as much, right? You might buy a little fish and a couple other things, right? But you have taken that opportunity to kind of take these things off the table. So, in other words, I would say that financial freedom, there are different strategies that you could take. And this is where I would pass the baton on to Ani a little bit for him to kind of illuminate on that aspect of financial freedom. Ani, I would let you throw in your perspective on that financial
Well, David,
freedom
you made a
aspect.
very good point about giving them ideas to do different little things. Wear chicken, have a little kitchen garden, and that's kind of, I mean, okay. But what I've learned in the past, David, that the best way
Hmm.
that you could achieve that will give you the most return is
Hmm.
education. So I doesn't care if you
Yes.
have a job already. Educate yourself in a new field. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Where,
Diversify.
yeah,
Diversify.
where you could make some more money. It might be that you're in a job now and the job might be paying you $20 an hour, and you could do
Hmm.
an evening class, or you could do some kind of online classes where you could make yourself better. You might be able to go to $30 an hour. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, my
There is
brother.
no type of investment that you could do that could give you that immediate return. So
Yes.
from an educational point of view, you could start there. Um,
Mhm.
Savings is so hard, David. It's like putting a bucket outside and waiting for it to rain. It's so what we say
Yes.
saving. We doesn't. I doesn't, and I want to kind of talk a little bit about that. I doesn't expect that you're gonna save and eventually you're gonna be financial free by saving. You know that
No, no.
no no no.
That is
It,
impossible.
it's impossible.
Yep.
So that is hard. But as David say, I think you should look at some investments. And you doesn't
Hmm.
have to have a lot of money. Sometimes you have to
No.
walk by faith. Sometimes you
Yes.
have to walk by faith. You know, I
Hmm.
always say that if you want to do a little business, you might go to 10 people that are going to say no. You just need one person to say
Say
yes.
yes.
David, I don't want to
Mhm.
stray too much, but
No, no, no. You're not straying. You're on the path.
me and
The
you,
challenges. Yeah.
you talk earlier on about your Christmas time and
Mhm.
your mom giving you money to go to town. Well, I never had that luxury. I just wanted to say that.
I know. I know, my brother. I know.
Yeah,
You don't
so
have to convince me.
when they give me a little balloon and the boss me Christmas spoil.
That's it. You're done.
but,
Christmas done.
David, let me just share this. Um, I remember when I was doing a house and I
Mhm.
wanted to get a loan to do a house, and for what some reason, we just did a project and we couldn't find the money to do it. And I
Right.
get on the everybody saying no. I'm getting on the internet saying somebody gonna say yes.
Right.
And I know you're not a big fan of Calypso, but I was a big
Yeah.
fan of it. And then I
Oh yeah. I know.
remember listening to that song by Black Stallion, "We Could Make It If We Try."
Try.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
sometimes you
Yeah.
just have to try. I mean, don't get discouraged. And I
Mm.
always like to kind of zero in a little bit on the emotional part of it, because we're talking to people about doing a business and making those decisions.
Mhm.
And people, me and David, we still poor. You understand?
Yes. We,
We might
in our mind, we still poor.
we still poor, but we have tried a lot of different things that allow us to be successful.
Mm.
We have been discouraged a lot. As I told David when we get here, I don't like to talk too much about myself, because at the end of the day, people come to get knowledge. It doesn't come to hear about me.
Yeah.
But You know,
But
we have made a good life for ourselves by just persevering, just trusting that something is
yeah,
going to work out. So
yeah, yeah.
I know finance is hard, and I want to kind of talk to the people that does not have a
Mhm.
financial backing. You know, they
Yeah,
might
yeah,
just have
yeah.
a little job. Just keep talking, just keep believing in your dreams. You know,
Mhm,
if you have to write it out on paper, you know me. You
mhm.
may not. When I did the video rental, I didn't even have a dollar.
Ah, boy, that video
So,
rental, video vibes
right,
from
talk about that.
Grenada, man.
Talk about it, David.
I want to say thanks to a lot of people who supported Video Vibes. I remember when we were on Young Street in town, and I had my video club called Video Vibes. What was the name of your video club? You can remember, Oni?
Yeah, I was in Springs. I was movie land.
Right, you were Movie Land. And guys, this is what we're talking about here. This is where we getting real here.
Mhm.
As you can see, like I made a move to open a video club, and I wouldn't leave my body out. When I saw what was able to do in the video club, making a couple extra bucks, I reached out to my partner and said, Oni, you know, let's do a little video club. You could do a little video club in Springs too. And I remember Oni used to barbecue. Oni used to be in the store doing videos and so on, renting and so on. And I used to, when my video clubs close, I go and I go by Oni now and I give it Oni support. And that is what we talked about a couple of the live videos. You're bootstrapping, you're giving your fellow man support. You understand? When he down, you help pull him up to a certain point, right? And when you need that support, he help pull you up and lift you up when you are down, right? And I remember when Hurricane Ivan came and that demolished like all the buildings and thing where we had the video clubs and all that kind of thing. And I came and I give my brethren support, you know. All the roofs went and everything, and that kind of took us to a down point in our lives. But did that keep us down? No, we still continued positive thinking because we knew there was a way out of it. That wasn't the end for us because that it was never what we envisioned in our lives. That we started to have a little business, we started to have a little success, disaster come, and we gone back and we saying, "Oh, we have lost everything." No, 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 no. That is not what happened. We decide to pack up things, put aside things. We say, okay, we're not renting. We're not able to rent because business kind of slow. We decide to do the little hustle and rent the people privately from our own home and so on. We never give up. We never give up. And we want to say thanks to the people who always supported us.
Mhm.
We never too big to say thanks. We never too big to say when we make mistakes. We have to learn from our mistakes and overcome. That video rental, that was something was in the back of my mind to talk about Larry, and you could see two of us is in sync. I never told you anything, and here you bring it up. So I just wanted to take that opportunity to chime in there and tell all the Grenadian fans, big up down there. You guys can make it to. Sometimes you would have things you want to talk about. Reach out to us in the channel, make comments, subscribe. We will
Mhm.
talk to you. We're never too busy to talk to people and give them some honest to goodness advice. We just keeping it real here again. So, Oni, let me pass the baton back to you
Wow,
and
David,
talk about yourself.
that's a emotional stuff there, man. Wow, whoa, that's emotional some stuff. Whoa. You has me gasping with that emotion. I mean, whoa, that's a lot.
Mm,
That's a lot. That bring back a lot of memories, man. Hey, man, if you
yeah.
could see me, my eyes are dry, but you know
I
that
know,
that bring back
man. I
a
know.
lot of emotional.
Yeah.
But David, and what and me and David friendship. At no time there has been any grudge or any feeling like that person he's doing this. Uh,
Yeah.
I, I mean, it's amazing, man. You know,
Yeah. Never
you
once.
always been there for me, man. You
Yeah.
know,
I
I
must
mean,
say
I
the
know
same, man.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. I know David would not share this, but it's we're going down a part of emotion. We're talking about success. We're talking about freedom, and having somebody in your corner is part of the journey. And I'm gonna tell you
Yes.
guys something. I don't know if David want me to share it, but if he don't, well, too bad because I already started.
Mm,
When I was going to my video club,
mm.
I did not. I was working at the hotel,
Right.
and this is really emotion for me to talk about. So just bear with me here.
Yeah.
And I did not know breads, where I was gonna, how I gonna start.
Yeah,
That's rough. That's rough. Give me, just bear with me, guys. It's rough
yeah,
because I didn't think that we would have gone down that road. I didn't know where I was gonna start. I was working like security in a hotel, and I went in and I ran the place in Springs, as you know.
yeah, my brother. I know.
I didn't have any material, anything to build a counter, to build shelves or anything. And I go there and I say, David, man, I tried to do this thing. David took me and he go to Hubbard's and co-signed for me.
Yeah, I did forget about that, my brother. Yeah,
I was going to Cab Bank to get a loan. Who was there with me? David.
yeah, that's about it.
I mean,
Yeah,
having somebody like that, bro, you know.
yeah, man, that bring tears to the eyes and truth, you know. We
Mhm.
just live, but yeah, take a minute to pull back in truth. Yeah, yeah, man.
That's a
People,
lot.
people,
That's
this
a lot.
this channel here is we just keeping it real. We just telling you, keeping it real. We ain't hiding nothing, we ain't lying you, we just giving you the honest to godness truth, man.
That's
Serious.
rough.
I
I mean, people.
completely
That's
forgot
rough.
about that
That's
in
rough.
truth.
Though we struggling and we telling you about business, and I have to go back there, David. Sorry about that if you didn't want that come out, but
No, that's okay.
we
That's okay,
going
my
back
brother.
in memory lane and telling you that we didn't have nothing to start.
Yeah,
Every My whole life is America. From my childhood, from where I come from, bro. I come out from a place where we didn't even have water. We had to go to the neighbor's
yeah,
house for water. You know how I grew up, and my mom was really poor, and it's still up to
yeah,
today. And
yeah,
I try my best to kind of make a better life for them. But it
yeah,
is
I know
rough.
that.
It is
Yeah.
rough, David. And one thing I have to say, I'm going to add this. As David talk about the hurricane, I'm going to add this.
Mhm.
When I was, and this might step on some people's toes, but I think it needs to be said, David. When
Yeah.
I was had the video club, if you remember in spring, there was a lot of people that was around me,
Oh yeah.
from
I know.
government ministers to a lot of people was around me back then.
Yeah.
When the video club went down after Ivan, David was the only guy that was there.
I
And I
remember.
want
I
somebody to
remember.
come on the channel and tell me that they was there for me as much as this guy's been there for me in my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
never left. You never give up. You never give up on the people, boy. You never.
You know,
That is
you know,
where you call true friendship. Yeah. I
you know.
remember
So,
that.
so having somebody like that is very important in my life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share another thing again. Since we going down the emotional part, me and David has already made a part that any one of us need our organs. That's how deep our friendship run. We would
Yeah.
not hesitate to strap on a table to give. I know if something wrong with me and I need a kidney, that guy will be there for me, and
What
he
else?
knows the
What else
same
could
way.
I do? Yeah. What else could I
So let me
do?
go ahead because I think I'm getting a little bit too emotional. So
You know, Larry, I forget a lot of them things that, we went through in life. And I'm glad that you bring these things up because in life, people may not realize the amount of challenges we have gone through in our lives. Like we keep saying that we have a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of experiences that we think is meaningful to people. But, you know, maybe I'm even understating that. And I think as we begin to go through this journey of sharing things with people, we would realize that we would help a lot of people who are going through some really rough times. We know COVID has just started to open its eyes a little bit, and a lot of people have lost their jobs. It's just like another hurricane has passed through their lives and destroyed them, set them back. They're starting all over again. People who have loans from moratorium that is have them on against the ropes and they feel like, all is out. It's like they can't make it anymore. They don't know how to see out of this darkness. You know what? I am maybe gifted in a lot of finances, as Ani said. I'm very thrifty. And to be honest, if you have certain questions, maybe you could throw it to us on the channel, subscribe. And if I can figure out a way, if you are comfortable sharing some of the information with me, um, I could give you like my private email, you would send it there, and I could answer you off the channel, if you don't want your information to be broadcasted outside there for other people to know your affairs. I would be willing to speak with you. I'll give you my WhatsApp call, give you some advice. If you have some questions, you could always reach out.
Mhm.
Only before we move on to the section of success, I want to give you the opportunity for you to be able to give out the book that we promised we were going to give with
Well,
with the section.
we're gonna do it at the end, David. We'll come back to that.
Okay,
We're gonna
no
do we,
problem.
we're gonna do that at the end.
So now that we have spoken to you, we have spoken to you about money. You understand about freedom, some of the things you may need to unshackle yourself and be able to have some additional income and so on. You need to start thinking about that. If you need a little bit more brainstorming on that, maybe there is another, you could send some message to us and we could get a little bit more deeper. Well, we plan to get a little bit more deeper, maybe into a little bit of investment, some ways you could start up a small little business to have that additional income to give you that level of comfort that you need. So, without ado, let's move on to the last but final portion of it, your success. And one of the things you would want to know, how do you know that you are successful? How do you know that you are successful at what you were doing, be it partially or totally success? And one of the things that always comes to me, and as I say, we keep it real here, is my process is doing a gut check. And here what a gut check is. A gut check is, let's assume that I was fired today or tomorrow. I no longer have a job today or tomorrow. Would I be anxious? Would I be worried about my finance for the next year? Would I be asking myself, where would I get money for bills for the next 6 months? If I, if these are the questions I'm starting to ask myself, then I need to reconsider that maybe I am not successful partially or totally yet.
Mhm.
Or if I start saying, would I be saying that this is an opportunity for me to enjoy my hard work and look for opportunities to take advantage of my off time during this time of less distraction? If I'm looking at the event as a positive event and I'm not looking or thinking about how this activity or this event is affecting my life immediately, it means that you are partially successful, because it means now you are no longer afraid or dependent on the paycheck to paycheck monthly survival. It means that your strategies that you have put in place, the savings that you have put in place, has given you that buffer zone that you know that in 6 months, you will still be comfortable. Within 6 months, you would find another job. Within 6 months, the thing that I'm doing is going to keep me going. And I could focus now, not on the immediate problem of not having a job, but I could start thinking beyond the 6 months now. When 6 months come, where would I be at that point? What do I want to start happening? Do I need to start building or investing in my education? That downtime that you have now, should it be a time when you should be investing in your education, as Oni say? Should it be a time when you're diversifying a little bit, right? That could be the opportunity for you, because all the time you've been working day in and day out at the job, you didn't have that time for yourself to sit back and start to look at your life and try to figure out, okay, what is the best strategy going forward. So if you're able to look at it as a positive event, that means you're on your way to the journey of that financial freedom, right? um Oni, does that make any sense to you?
It makes a lot of sense, David. What I want people to understand that it starts with your belief.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that you got to kind of believe in yourself. We could give you all that information, but if you don't
Mhm,
believe it in your heart, if you don't believe it in your mind, it will never
mhm.
happen.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, you have to find that, you have to find that, that belief. You
Yes.
have to
Yes.
find that belief.
You
You
have to
must
have faith.
find that belief. Believe in yourself. And sometimes you have a day job, and that's fine, but it might be an evening class that you have to do.
Yeah.
It might be an online class that you have to do. So you could start there. You could start saving some money, and you have to walk by faith. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
I don't
You
know. I
have
don't know.
to.
I don't know how else to tell you to do it. Walk by faith. Believe. Take
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
chances.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, take some chances.
You have
Your
to.
business doesn't have to be a big business. You could start off by just selling
Nope.
watermelons, selling
Yep.
watermelons. You could plant some
Yeah.
little watermelons. It could be
Simple.
a lemonade stand. It could be a little bit barbecue. It could be something real small, and it grows. As we talk about, David, when I did the video club, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Remember when I did the video club, David, nobody was coming. I had a
Nope.
computer. I sell the
Hmm.
computer to buy a barbecue stand.
Yes. Hmm.
I said, so you had to start small, believe in yourself, David. You keep going, David, so I'll let you take it away. But I just wanted to chime in and kind of add that part of it.
Yeah. Success shows itself in different ways. And in the beginning, don't look for this bright something where a ton of money is being poured in. No. Start being appreciative. Start being thankful for the little pieces that you get. And that's something that Ernie was talking about, the man who had the little talents. You know, if you didn't use it properly, what's the point you getting bigger talents? Start appreciating those little ones and help hone in some of your skills of appreciation for looking after your wealth, your money. Look at it as your little child. You're taking care of it. You know what I mean? You watering it, you safeguarding it. You know what I care for it. Start having genuine care for your income. You have been given life. You have breath. If you're not putting away anything from your income, it is as well as you don't have an income. Because remember, if you don't have any income, you wouldn't just stand up and die. You wouldn't lose your breath. Some way you would figure out survivor, right? We're human being. So if you're putting in the effort to earn your income, put in a little bit more effort and put aside some for a rainy day. Remember this statement. If you don't have a job, you wouldn't just stand up and die. You would survive. You would find a way to survive. So if you're putting in the effort to go to a job, 8 to 4, 9 to 5, you pack a lunch and you go and you sit down in an office or you go and work in the field for 8 hours. If you're willing to do that, all it takes from you is just making a small deposit of 10%. And sometimes the deposit is already made for you in the bank. It just means don't take out 100%, take out 90%. So you don't even have to put it in the bank. It's there already. Leave it there. Let it grow up day by day. It's like your child. You don't take food out of your child mouth.
Mhm.
You understand? No parent goes and take food from their child and leave their child hungry. So that little child of your money that is growing there, nurture it, look after it, care for it. And remember, if you're putting in labor, you have to put aside something for yourself. Don't give it all away. Don't let vanity be your lifestyle because the boastful man, he has nothing to show in the end, right? That is what I would conclude by
Mhm.
taking that seriousness off the table, just wanting to let people know we thank you for a lot of the support, right? We will be coming with a website. Honey, if you don't mind, I'll just mention it to the people. We we're coming with a platform. We're working on it so that we could continue to share this information with people because a lot of people has been giving us positive feedback. They said, you know what, get this thing going. You guys are doing a really good job. the material that you guys are giving is from the heart. It is bang on. It is what we need. We really want to support you. So we will be coming very shortly with a website. We believe we're going to be calling it caribbeanlife.com. We're going to be going on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know, we have it on the HVAC Startup channel. We have it on the Honey Brave Boy channel. We having it as much places as possible. And we encourage people, you know, all the people who have been watching, all the people who watch the video, you know what, forward the information on to your friends, your family, whoever it may be that might be going through some hard times that you think they could get some meaningful information from this material. And we'll be coming week after week, you know, trying to inspire people, sharing our life story with people, and just keeping it real with you, Caribbean people, North American people all over the world. At least we can't speak multiple languages yet, but I am sure somebody could transcribe this video, run it through some translator, and get it in their language. Whatever you can do, whatever this means to you, we want to say thank you very much. And Ani, don't forget to let's do our giveaway because we have to keep with what we promised to the people.
Okay.
And we want to thank everybody for support. So I'll let Ani run with it and do the shutdown procedure
Okay.
from here.
So, David, I just wanted to add, you give a lot of
Go
information.
ahead, my
I just
buddy.
wanted to add before I do the giveaway that is it crazy, David, that people goes to work and you talk about that
Mm,
building another man dream.
yes, you're building
But so you have to
you're
try to build your
financing
own
another
because
man.
you're going to
Yep.
work every day. I think I was reading something sometime last week, David. It says that
Mm.
you put your clock to alarm for 6. You get up, you use the bathroom, you force yourself to eat food, drive to a job, and then the boss tell you should be thankful. So I just wanted to add that if you're going to invest in another man business, you
Yeah,
should invest in yourself. So
that's
David, somebody is gonna get this book here.
right.
Don't matter where they are. We're gonna send this book for them.
Right.
They're not gonna have to pay any money for it.
Mhm.
So we're gonna
What would
choose somebody.
what
Go
would
ahead.
be the selection criteria, my boy? Let them
Well,
people
we're
know.
gonna just choose somebody from the comments. As I said before, you have
Okay,
to
perfect.
comment. You have to
Yep.
comment to be eligible,
Right,
and
right.
we're gonna choose somebody, David.
Yep.
And you will be. I will just tell you, drum rule. So, Miss
Yep. Just
Patricia Fleming Baker.
okay. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So
And guys, this is not biased. This is not biased in any way.
it is
This
not.
is the process we're using. Persons who have made comment, and maybe we should have been a little bit more clear about that in the beginning. We
Mhm.
do appreciate. It's not still too late to send in comments.
Right.
Even if I personally have to buy the book and send it for you, I will. So
Mhm.
we'll give people. You could still send in comments. Whoever is
Mhm.
online right now,
Mhm.
send it in, and we would
Mhm.
personally ensure that whoever comments gets a copy
Mhm.
of this book. This is
Right.
the
So that.
process we're going to be using going forward. Anybody
Mhm.
who comment, we just select at random.
Mhm.
And yes, honey, I'll let you take it away.
So, so David, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna be genuine. We're gonna give it. In the next couple minutes, we're gonna give out another book.
Perfect. So you have the so people, you
So,
have the opportunity to make comments. Whoever
right.
has been online, make your comments now,
Mm,
and you
mm.
still are going to have that
Yeah.
opportunity.
So we're gonna be genuine. We're gonna give out our next book within the next 2 minutes.
Perfect, perfect.
So David, anything you want to add?
Well, let's just let
Go
me
ahead.
take a few minutes to talk about maybe just to what would I say to make up a little time to give people an opportunity to send in something.
Mhm,
And one of the things we had talked about maybe in the past broadcast, and I would tell you again here, it is always good to have someone that you could depend on to give you honest to goodness help, advice, someone you could lean on that
mhm,
wouldn't spill their guts and expose all of your business, but keep your information confidential within yourself and them. whereby you could talk to them genuinely about things that affects you, that you need help with, and for them to be able to give you some honest to goodness criticism and advice about whether you should do this, how you should proceed, and you know they're not doing it out of what they can get. They just genuinely want to see you succeed. And at times, maybe you may not have that person that you could confide as much in, but the little that you could find, whatever friends and association you could find, that is very important to help you through those rough times and to help you navigate some of the challenges you would have in life. So with this was just to give people an opportunity who have been listening to send in a comment so that they could get an opportunity to win one of the books as well. Um, I don't want to be biased. One of the people that I know I've seen there, so I don't want it to look like everything is going one way. We really want it to be an opportunity where somebody could have something of meaningful that could start helping them along life's journey. So, Ani, take it away. If you see anybody, any name that it is not looking too similar to who have gotten already, then that would be the next person. Anybody so far, Ani?
Yeah, well, David, you know what? We're being totally transparent, and as we
Mhm.
said when we come on here, we're choosing somebody to comment. So if
Yep.
the person doesn't comment, then
Yes, there's a need to do.
and we're just being transparent, and we're gonna choose somebody else. I'm choosing somebody randomly from the comments.
Okay, all right.
David, maybe I should let you choose that one. Did you
No,
see? Did
I
I say?
trust you.
Did I
I
send you a
trust you.
mess? Did you see I send you a private message? Could you see a private message?
Uh, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Um, yeah, 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 my boy.
Yes.
Oh boy. Um,
Uh,
don't worry, Larry. I think that one I'm going to do that offline. Um,
but we have to be transparent, David. So go
is
ahead. You have to do a transparent,
yeah,
regardless of what it is. We have to
it's
do
true.
transparent. So
It's
we're
true.
being transparent. We're being totally
Um,
honest here. And every week we will be giving
yeah.
away books. So
You
David,
know
go
what,
ahead and
Tony? I agree with you 100%. We can't shield the people. We want them to know that we are not being biased here. Um, I would like to congratulate Rosemary Fleming. It's my sister. She have contributed to the comments here, and it would be unfair that she have actually contributed here and we have not given her the book. That would be wrong. So this is a person who have made the comment during our talk. We were hoping not for it to look biased in one way, but she did. So it is her winnings. Next week we're going to be giving away other items as well. So anybody who's listening to this broadcast, please comment during the chats. Go into your YouTube and subscribe and make your comments, and definitely we will choose from the list. So I want to say thank you again. It was a pleasure to share this information with people. We are going to try to get you guys ahead with some of the topics, as we say, creating the website where you could just go to this Caribbean Live, Caribbean-live.com. It is not up yet. Don't worry, we would let you know in one of these videos once it has started to become live. And that is going to be the platform from which we're going to be doing all the announcements and everything there on what's coming up and so on. So, Annie, I would let you do the shutting down process. Um, Take it away from here because
anyway,
we have
guys,
kept you guys for a while.
I want to thank you for being here. We've been here for an hour. Thank you. We hope that you find the information valuable. If you do, you could please also subscribe to us so you get and allow notifications so you will know when we're coming on next time. So we just want to say thank you. Where Ernie and David hopefully was able to share information, and we will see you next week around the same time. Anything else, David?
Don't forget, pass information on to your friends and family. Let them go look at the video how can they find the video, Honey? Could you give them
Well, the video will be
the
posted on all the websites. It will be on YouTube, on the
mhm,
same HVAC startup technicians. It would be on Ernie Brave Boy.
okay?
It will be on
So
all
it
our social media. So it will be on Facebook, wherever you're listening
okay
for a copy of the video. Once we're done, will be live
available.
on air. So the last three videos that we do, they're still available. So it will be
Right.
available to look at once we're done
Okay.
here.
Maybe what we will do maybe next week is to show people how they can find it,
Mhm.
how to search it up, to find the channel that we're talking about. Do you think that's something we would want to do now, Ani? Do you want
Well,
to
you
do
could
that
just go
now?
to HVAC startup technicians and you could just click on videos. That's on YouTube.
Just search
And
for that on YouTube.
yeah, you will see. We have a lot. I do a lot of technical videos with my job,
Hmm.
but you will see the live streams also. There, you could go to
Right.
HVAC startup technicians, and you could click on live, and you will see all our live that we did. So,
Right. And you could forward that information to all your friends, family, anybody. If you find this sessions very meaningful and you would want them to join on the live or watch the videos, send it to as much people. We really want to give back to our community and everything. And we really want to say thank you for all the support we have been receiving so far.
all right, thank you guys.